was the most watched trial in legal history. You had more accredited media watching that trial than O.J. Simpson and Scott Peterson combined, because Michael Jackson was the most famous people on the planet. He was indicted by a grand jury in Santa Barbara County, charged with 10 felony counts, one count of conspiracy. The other counts dealt with allegations that he had molested a child. You had counts of child molestation, attempted child molestation, and providing alcohol to a minor for purposes of molestation. Very ugly case, very hard fought.
Yes.
The trial lasted about 5 months. Michael Jackson was acquitted on every indicted count, and in addition, 4 lesser-included counts of administering alcohol to an underage person. So the jury came back 14 times not guilty on 10 felony counts, not guilty on 4 lesser-included misdemeanor counts. It was a very, very spirited prosecution that we were successful in defending, fortunately. And I could talk for all year about the case, but it was a great honor for me as a criminal defense attorney to be in that case as Michael Jackson's lead counsel. Friends of mine warned me not to take the case. They said, you can't win it, and the rest of your life will be defined by that loss. Everywhere you go in the world, people will be pointing the finger saying, he's the one who lost the Michael Jackson case. He's the one who sent Michael Jackson to prison. He's the one who caused the end of Michael Jackson's life, as a person and as an entertainer. So I thought long and hard about it. I said, this is who I am. This is what I do. I'm a defense attorney. I believe wholeheartedly in the function we have in the criminal justice system, and everybody deserves a defense, and I was very honored to be in the case and to win it.
And for some of the people who have this stigma, and they will maybe till the day they die that he is guilty, what are some of the things that you witnessed in court, or anything that you could tell us that supports the facts of the case that Michael Jackson was innocent?
Well, Michael Jackson was a very unusual person. He was one of the most gifted entertainers in human history. Fred Astaire said he was the best dancer he ever saw, and Michael never took a dance lesson. He was a gifted genius-like choreographer. The music he made, the music he sang, the unusual, creative projects he embarked on in cinema and in film and in dance were just extraordinary. And he was someone who, unfortunately, felt he'd never had a childhood. He was forced to get up, at 6 in the morning, go to school. He would come back. He would rehearse till 3 in the morning. He was sleep-deprived as a young man, as a child. Weekends, he was brought to clubs in Chicago and Detroit to perform. And he always credited his father with helping him refine his creativity and his skills. But he also felt that he paid a heavy price by not really understanding and having the experience of being a spontaneous, free child. And as a result, I think, in a way, he was always in search of that childhood that he never had. And he determined he was going to try and be a spokesman for children around the world. He was a remarkable philanthropist who gave enormous amounts of money to help disabled children. He loved Princess Diana in Great Britain because she had done a lot to help children who were victims of landmines and victims of poverty in the African continent. And unfortunately, he was perceived as creative, eccentric, generous, and very vulnerable. And that vulnerability made him a tremendous target, a target for people who were greedy, for people who were ambitious, and for people who wanted to profit off his destruction. And all of this came together in this huge criminal trial that the media covered around the world, and for the most part did not treat Michael very well, essentially pronouncing him guilty before he even went to trial, giving very skewed coverage of what witnesses said or didn't say in the trial, and his reputation was savaged. His spirit was wounded very badly, even though he was acquitted. And it was unfortunate that a great person and such a nice person would be put through such a horrific, tragic, experience like this. But life is not always fair. And as I said before, when you have fame and fortune, you can pay a heavy price for it, including being a target of those who want to profit at your expense.
Oh, no question. We see it all the time with celebrities, and Michael Jackson. People always seem to have their hand out for something, and it never seemed that he was happy. And especially the years preceding his acquittal in 2005, he didn't seem like he just seemed a little hurt and beaten, if you know what I mean.
No, I think he was physically and emotionally battered by that experience. I mean, I just remember verdict day. Just his cheeks were sunken in. He looked like he hadn't slept. He could hardly talk. He just had lost a lot of weight. And there was fear written all over his face because he was, the media had already pronounced him guilty. The media was expecting a conviction. I was telling someone today that when I entered that courtroom on verdict day and sat at counsel table, I looked around the courtroom, and you would think that all these media people were in a celebration because they all had these smiles and they just were radiating excitement. They were going to watch, the biggest megastar on the planet, get it and hauled off to jail. And they were just thinking this was going to be a tremendous story, and they were all so excited. And after the 14th not guilty verdict, the last one, I hugged Michael, and in the process of hugging him, I looked at the courtroom. And all of these media people who had looked so thrilled, so excited to be there before it, all looked dejected. I saw Greta Van Susteren walking out of the courtroom with just a look on her face like, oh no, all the
really,
all the excitement they expected to have, seeing him fall so completely, was denied them, and everyone looked disappointed, upset. The sense was, now what do we do? He was acquitted. It was very, very disgusting for me. It took me a long time to get over that media avalanche of negative press and negative expectation that they brought to that case. It was really, really bad.